Good evening, podcast world. Fully dressed. We are your host. I am Bruce Doc Simonis, and that is Star Rookies. And we are here to entertain and encourage and educate you. So we're going to jump right into things here in just a second. Today is December 12th. It is 8:10 p.m. This is episode 13. And let's get into things. All right, Rooks. So we're mixing up a little bit today due to me and scheduling conflicts on my end. So we normally do this in the afternoon, but we're doing it in the evening time today, which has thrilled my co-host immensely. And or not, but this is not our final show of the season, of the year, season, holiday season, what have you. But we're getting close. We'll
call it season. This is our end of our first season.
Yep. And it's Christmas time, 14 days away. So
ho ho.
Yeah, I'm expecting coal if I'm lucky enough to get that, because I have not been good this year. I've tried, but what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I'm better than I used to be. Still have some areas that I can improve in. So I think this year I'm not going to do New Year's resolutions, which honestly I never have. But I'm going to do some intentions. So my intention for this year is to be less of an asshole and less bitchy about stuff. I think those are pretty good, valid aspirations for myself. So
I'll take that.
Don't say you got nothing. Can you even see the computer with those glasses on?
Yes.
And again, I said we're fully dressed, as you can tell. He shows up in a robe one week, shirt and tie the next. So we never know. And I got my memories of my bub right there. Best boy ever lived right there.
That was a good dog.
Yep. Anyway, we're going to jump into things. So we're going to start on your end.
What'd you say?
Little Elvis. I said we're going to jump in. We're going to start on your side.
I never get phone calls, and that was a phone call. Well, bring this one up for me first. That one
with Meta, or the other one?
The one with the little boy's face.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho.
There you go.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
Just shoot your eye out, kid. Then he makes him wear that pink bunny suit, which doesn't make sense because it's Christmas, you know. So I think that's the only movie that kid ever made. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Probably could be.
Yeah. So
not interested enough into researching it. Okay, let's get on to our first thing. Our little I wanted to do a rookies rant. This isn't a rant. This is a topic that I found the other day that I found interesting. You and I haven't talked about it at all. I don't even know if you know about it. You know anything recently about Australia?
Yes.
Okay. Bring up my thing and let's watch this video. It's about 1.5 minutes. Not that one, the other one.
This morning, kids across Australia are locked out of their social media accounts as a first-of-its-kind law takes effect. Children under 16 are now banned from having accounts on major social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
This reform will change lives for Australian kids and allowing them to just have their childhood. For Australian parents, enabling them to have greater peace of mind.
But not all young Australians agree.
We will be completely silenced and cut off from our country and the rest of the world with this ban.
Social media companies are also pushing back, saying the ban is misguided and could make kids less safe. Meta saying, "We've consistently raised concerns that this poorly developed law could push teens to less regulated platforms or apps. Many of these apps do not offer the same safety features, such as teen accounts, which we have spent years developing." Companies like Meta face hefty fines if they fail to enforce the age restrictions. Australia's government says the ban will protect young people's mental health, citing research linking heavy social media use to bullying and body image issues. Some experts say the law will shield kids from these harms and force platforms to adopt stronger protections. Others insist a blanket ban is not the solution.
You're removing them from the digital information era. You're removing them from the idea of being from political speech. You're removing them from access to information that could be supplemental to what they're learning in education.
Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Malaysia also plans to ban social media for kids under 16, but in the United States right now, kids over 13 are allowed access.
Are you? All right. Now, what she said there at the tail end, kids over 13 are allowed access. I didn't know that you were required to be, but I'm not a parent. I guess you got to be 13 to open an account on Facebook and stuff. Is that the requirement?
I honestly have no idea because my kids were already past that age whenever all of this started coming out and about. It was
and back in the day, kids lied.
Yeah, but now they have like the facial recognition and.
So that leads me to the topic. What do you think this country should do?
I think there needs to be some regulations on it, but like that is a slippery slope when you decide what those regulations are. I know they said 16, but I also know that they've talked about laws in this country to make it to 18. So I don't like the thought of being completely blocked out, but I do think that social media is the cause of a tremendous amount of the issues that our younger people are experiencing, whether it be mental illnesses, their sexual identification and that type of thing, or their depression for lack of what other people have and they don't have. So I think a lot of the issues that they experience are from social media. How do you control it? Like, I am not a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist or a psychologist, so I don't know what is the best thing. I would not mind being involved in some of the conversations about how to make those things better. But as of right now, I honestly don't have an input other than maybe you should block it, but what's the age? So as a parent, I didn't have to deal with that much.
Here's my only problem with it. I can't argue that as a non-parent. Sure, let's make it 13, 16. I don't care. Put a date on it. Put some regulation on it. But then there's the side of me that says, well, the only way that you're going to regulate it is to mandate some form of identification to prove that the individual that's signing up for that account is who they say they are and is the age they say they are. And that eliminates the ability to remain anonymous online. So where is the line drawn? Where do you go with it? I don't know. And I asked the parents for their input because I ain't got a dog in the fight. I don't care. Truffles isn't getting on social internet, so I don't care.
You don't know.
She could be famous.
Well,
She might do better than me.
here's the
She
like-
probably would do better than me.
yeah. She just look into the camera and get more pictures or get more likes and shares. But like, if you could say, like, we didn't have it growing up. We didn't have social media. People are like, oh, we cut off from the world. We're going to be cut off from our daily lives and all the things going on. But like, watch the news. But you can't watch the news anymore because the news isn't real news anymore. It is extremely politicized into a narrative that they want you to see. So I really believe that back when we were teenagers, like we watched Cronkite and
Tom Brokaw,
on Donald's,
Harry Reasoner.
those guys, like they did the news. This is what's going on, whether you like it or not. This is what's really happening. You could actually watch any of the news channels and actually learn something about what was happening in the world. In 2016, that drastically changed when it was, we all hate Trump and we're going to say and do anything we possibly can to stop that. So now when you watch the news, it is whatever can be right negative. That's what you will see. So you can't even tell your kids to watch go on the news and watch that or go online and learn about things because you can't. So full of shit that you don't even know what's accurate. So if I had teenagers or younger kids, I wouldn't want them watching legacy media because you're going to start believing in a lie. So I think that's a tough thing right now, but we survived without it.
Bring out my picture there. Just wanted to give her some screen time. Hi, Truffles.
It's very blurry.
Yeah, I didn't test it.
Oh, okay. Okay. She is sweet. The very first time I saw her, remember that when she looked like a little dust mop in the yard?
Puffball.
It looked like this piece of the mop was just like cruising across the grass because she was so little.
I'll have to dig up one of those pictures.
She was one of the cutest little puppies I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
So, apparently that's already taken effect. That in Australia.
In Australia, it's taking effect. Yeah, they're
In
gonna.
Australia.
And there's other countries that are watching to see how it plays out.
Well, you know, like a lot of places in Ireland, Great Britain, and things like you can go to jail.
Yeah, they don't have the same freedoms we do. Freedom of speech in this country is pretty.
There was a guy that came to Florida over the July 4th weekend and to visit friends, and they took him to a shooting range. And there's pictures of him holding a gun, like different guns and shooting or whatever. So he recently put those up on his Facebook page and got arrested. Somebody, it was one of his friends and his group, said that they were triggered seeing him with guns, and they arrested him for breaking the law and causing mental issues with somebody else and being a threat. He got arrested because he showed him at a shooting range in the United States on vacation. Wasn't threatening anybody. Nothing was said about it. He just put up some pictures at a great time at the shooting range or something like that. And they arrested him for that. So for those of you who don't think this, at least for right now, we are free. Be grateful you don't live in one of those places because we wouldn't be doing this right here.
Nope.
We wouldn't be we would be putting ourselves in line to be next to be arrested because some of the things we say, because it would trigger somebody and hurt someone's feelings. So that we've down a dark path that is. What are you doing?
I'm taking a picture of the screen.
I can tell. But it's I don't like in some of the areas that it's gone to. Could you imagine if you were someone like Nick Fuentes and you lived in London or one of those places? You would be locked up. You would be so in jail. It's just absurd and it's insane. All right, so my story, and the reason I want to talk about this is I was listening to Brian Kilmeade earlier this morning, and he had this guy who works for a nonprofit, and I can't remember the name of the organization. It's Gray something, and they did a covert mission. Was their 800th mission that they have done, where they go and they help people escape. I don't want to say political refugees, but they help people escape from places when their lives are in danger for going against the opposition. So anyway, we all are aware of Nicolas Maduro and his crazy nutso job. But this is Maria Corina Machado. Okay, she is a longtime political person in Venezuela. She actually ran in the election. And it was believed by many, including most of the United States government officials, that she won pretty convincingly in their presidential election, but Maduro was refusing to give up power, so he refused to give up, and so he's still in power, and then she had to go into hiding and for her safety for her life. So the what's the name of this guy here? It is Gray Bull Rescue Foundation. Went in a little like John boat of some sort, put her in some sort of disguises, took her out on the ocean with like 8 to 10 foot waves in the freezing cold weather and helped her escape to Norway. She actually is just the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. Her daughter had to accept it for her. But she had
that was just the other day.
Yeah, she had to go through checkpoints, and like she literally put her life at risk.
I believe she had to come to the United States and then fly out to Europe.
I'm not exactly sure. I know she's in Norway right now.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you have any time, like read some about this lady. She is a force.
I know she is.
She already has a 100-day plan in place, ready for Maduro to either step down or to be forced to step down or to be taken out, whatever the case may be, to fix that country that is basically China / Russia 2.0.
Here's what you got to have. You can't have the United States going in and overthrowing Maduro. That's not going to work. But what you can do is have exactly what Trump is doing. In my opinion, he's cutting off the money to Maduro and his cartel. You're seizing this big oil tanker. They asked Trump yesterday, what is he going to do with the oil tanker? He'll keep it. Like casualties of war. They're blowing up the drug boats. They're seizing the oil tankers. They're cutting off the money flowing to Venezuela. But the only real way you're going to get regime change is if the Venezuelan people do it. And this woman is the one who's got to be the one to make the call to arms. She's going to have to tell the people, I will come back and serve you as your duly elected president, because she won the election. Maduro just didn't give up power. So if the Venezuelan people can find it within them to take over the government, and the military people that are serving for Maduro, you got to believe half of them would fight against Maduro. They're not loyal. Half of them probably are loyal, and a quarter of them extremely loyal, because he's enriching them with the monies that he's receiving from. I mean, this oil tanker was headed to China from Venezuela, and the sanctions are that you can't sell. Nobody in the world can sell oil to China, so they're subverting these sanctions. That's going to bring in U.S. forces.
And that ship has been sanctioned multiple times in 2020, 21, and 22. It was known to be.
And it didn't fly a country flag, which means it's not showing that if you're capturing this vessel, you're capturing a so-and-so flag. Trump had every right to do it. And frankly, Trump had the balls to do it.
Yeah.
Biden wouldn't have done it. Obama wouldn't have done it.
Well, you better not cross this line.
I don't think Bush or Clinton would have done it.
Yeah,
exactly.
You cross this line and there's hell to pay. Okay, we crossed the line. I meant this line.
This line.
This line. Don't do it. Like, enough of that crap.
Yep.
Then it leads to the people that are bitching about the drug boats. They're what they call them shipwrecked men. Shipwrecked men. They're not shipwrecked. They're ship blown up men. Like, get over it. That whole country.
I will say there's rules of war where I'm not sure about. I'd have to see the video of it, and I don't think the video would prove to me either way. And I'd rather believe our leaders than the haters. If these guys had been blown and they were in the ocean waving the white flag, and we sent another bomb on them, that's fucking wrong. That's wrong. You're surrendering. So you don't shoot a enemy combatant that is surrendering. If these guys were turning the boat back over and grabbing the stuff that had been thrown into the ocean and putting it back on the boat, they're free game. They're continuing their operation. So, yes, could it be right that we shot unarmed civilians that were surrendering? Possibly, but I highly doubt it. And if they were bringing goods back and putting them on the boat, they're free game. Target practice.
Yeah. And they call that what, a double tap?
Double tap.
And they were talking this morning, again, Brian Kilmeade and Marco Rubio, that during Obama's 8 years, he did 500 plus incidents where he double, triple, and quadruple tapped, blowing things up. He even blew up civilians in apartment buildings, and they have all these things, and nobody got pissed off about that.
One was an American citizen in one of the things, and he knew it was an American citizen there and called it anyway, so they claim.
Yeah. So if you're going to be mad, that's fine. Be mad about all of it, though. Like, you can't be mad about it now. You can't be pissed off about it now. Be mad about all of it, or don't be mad at all. You can't just pick and choose when it's all because it's Donald Trump. So I think that it's crazy. And I think that country, which used to be like a beacon of success and wealth and prosperity, is now, like, let it be a sign to those New Yorkers about socialism. That is what happens. You have someone takes over, and it's good for them, but not for you. And you obey the law. Just like AOC, they just come out and talked about her year-end information that she was putting out about her campaign and things, and she has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars traveling and staying in 5-star hotels in New York City. Like,
Yep.
you live in New York City. Why do you got to go stay at a $1,000 a night hotel? How did you spend $40,000 on concert tickets to Bad Bunny? Like, all
Business
of these,
expense.
but it's because it's for thee, not for me. Like, you listen to what we want you to say and do. You don't pay attention. We do whatever we want. We're in charge.
And you'll get arguments from the left of, well, that's private donations, but let's also realize that they get private donations, but they get matching funds from the government in a lot of instances. So a lot of that money is taxpayer money that's going to these different political organizations. They have to give the same amount to both sides, but no, this is
you're flying on a
corruption.
private jets, which
if we're going to go to corruption, man, let's turn right into the biggest corruption scandal right now in the news, and that is where? Minnesota. You got Tim Walz. I wonder if, I don't know why they named him to be the VP nominee. Was it to protect him because they knew all this shit was going to come out and they figured if he was VP, he'd have to, because the corruption there is just unbelievable. It's not about people. Let's get over the brown people shit. I don't give a shit what color people are. They happen to be non-Caucasians that are coming in here committing crimes, criminal activity. But I'd call them out if they were white people. I promise you, if there were a bunch of Englishmen that were doing this shit that the Somalis are doing in Minnesota, I would have the same hatred for their organization. What is going on?
Now it's like they're saying it's over $2 billion. And these people were buying massive real estate portfolios, luxury vehicles, buying homes and property in Somalia, which, if that's the case, like, if you want to be here so badly, why are you buying property in that country? And now they say that there's a Somali community in Ohio that they're investigating for the exact same issues, same problem.
I believe it, and I think if Ohio gets around and elects what's his name, they'll get that all straightened out too. Who is it running for?
Ramaswamy.
Who?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah. He gets governor. He'll clean that shit up. The Somali shit, hundreds of millions of dollars, 47 million, while claiming to feed millions of kids during the pandemic. None of them were fed. 61 people have already been convicted. Investigations are ongoing. And this is something one of the powers that be that were involved in this with the DOJ, more to come. This isn't even close to being over with. These people were spending money on trips, Porsches, lake houses, overseas wires transfers to China and to Somalia. The majority being of Somali descent. And all of this under the watch of Governor Tim Walz. I think My Pillow's got a shot.
Spirit hands.
It's
absurd.
You get them cornered and they're going to continue to defend this. Why can't you just say, what was it Ilhan Omar said that things happen so fast and we're moving along so quickly that some slip through.
We couldn't put the guardrails up fast enough.
The guardrails, yeah. There weren't enough guardrails. Really? You won't just say that there were corrupt people doing this? And
let me tell you something. If you were stealing from me, your ass is I'm narking your ass out. Like, but they're talking about this where they threatened to accuse them of racism. So at one point the money was cut off, and then Tim Walz reinstituted it and gave it back to them.
Man,
So-
was he just stupid
Oh,
or
he is stupid.
ignorant?
Yes. Like, stop it. Like, I knew, and you've known, and we've talked about this for years. When you first came out of the military, and you're like, I think they're charging $500 for a hammer. And you're like, I don't understand that. Or a screwdriver is $300. Like, it's all, this was years ago.
30 years ago, use it or lose it. At the end of the fiscal year, you had to use up the money that your company was allotted, or you would get less money allotted to you the next year. So even if we didn't need those 3 chairs, 2 tables, and the water fountain, we had to spend this $3,600, or instead of $20,000 next year, they're going to give us $3,600 less because we
Right.
didn't need it.
So you might as well use it.
So
Don't need
use it so that we maintain, right?
And they just, it's like
I thought that was the limit to the corruption.
yeah. But then
I thought that was it.
They're like, Doge is coming out. And when they started talking about all of the shit and the piles of just craziness, it was so absurd you can't even really like grasp it.
But they try to justify by saying that's just a minuscule. That's just a little bit of money. That's just a little. I don't care. A whole bunch of a little bit of money is a lot of money that could be back in American people's pockets.
When
I think
was-
we're gonna see next year Donald Trump present the idea, and I dare any of the Republicans or Democrats to vote against it. Anybody making under $130,000 a year makes zero income tax payments. Zero. First $130,000 free. I'm good with that.
Yeah, when did taxes start? When did income taxes start?
1917.
I'll say it was not. I mean, it's been 100 and some years ago, but like we can make it without that. You just have to be smart about it. Like, do the things that you're supposed to do in those positions that you're supposed to be doing.
What year did I say?
1917.
The United States started continuously charging income tax in 1913, following the ratification of the 16th Amendment to the Constitution.
You were close. You were close. But like, you pay taxes.
You're not peeing in a cup, are you?
No. Charlie's over here drinking off his bowl.
Okay. I'm like, dude, we're on the air, dude.
No. Charlie's in here.
I know you sit there in your underwear, but you can't be peeing.
This is not a news channel. No. I'm surprised you can't hear his little name tag hitting the bowl.
No, but it sounded like you were peeing. I want to clarify that for the 3 people that watch this.
Or more. No. But like, you pay
Clearly,
tax
Deidre watches because she called you out.
on,
What'd she call you out on, dude?
I can't remember.
Oh,
remember
it
you
was
saying something.
something.
I remember you saying something about that, but I don't know. Anyway, taxes. You pay taxes on the money that you work for. Then you pay taxes when you spend it. Then you pay taxes when you buy food. You pay taxes when you pay rent, when you pay your property taxes. Like, what the hell? Like, so you make $1 and you actually make 20 cents, 25 cents. So all of that is just crazy. And it all goes into the Somali fund, apparently. So now in Minnesota, they've already created, which is weird because it happened so quickly, a department to investigate it, but they got to do ongoing training. So now they're saying it's going to cost the taxpayers of Minnesota $250 million extra on top of what's already been spent to get this department up and running and get all the people trained, on top of the $2+ billion that you've already given away.
Yeah.
So, and that's not counting the money that they spent for the housing, the medical care, the free money you get on the card, your cell phones that they're giving out, the whatever. So that's on top of all of that. So when you start looking at like Doge, you're like, okay, so that one issue in Minnesota is not going to correct the deficit of our country.
Nope.
Times it by the other 49 states, because you know if it's happening there, it's happening in a lot of places. And it's not just Somali people, it's our own people. How much money is Nancy Pelosi worth? How much is she stealing or taking? How much of the other politicians, not just Democrats, how many other people are just siphoning it off of the freaking pile that we're paying for it? But then they don't want us to look into it. It's none of our business. It's none of your business that AOC flies around in a private jet because it's from private donations. Well, how the hell am I supposed to know that? How am I supposed to believe that? But if I freaking don't pay taxes on my $40,000 salary, you're going to put me in jail. You know, it's like, but you can make hundreds of millions stealing and cheating the system. That's okay because you are an elected official and you're here for the betterment of us. Like, it's all bullshit. I get so pissed off about that stuff. It's so bullshit. So anyway, I got off on a crazy tangent there, but
yeah, bring up my page here so I'm not completely crazy. I thought Deidre watched this show. She doesn't though. She does watch, however, your
I think she
what
knows
account is this?
Oh, that's my TikTok.
Okay, and what we
This is
got here?
because
They were open and nearly 75% gone. They were shoved to the back of the pantry of the corridor. Love you though. Your 3 weeks means 3 months. Did you even see those messages?
no. that's my that's my cookies.
Yes, your
throw away.
cookies.
I would never throw anything of hers away. Well, I would
She said they were in there 4 months, not 3 weeks. They were stale, Bruce. They were stale.
but I have, from a poor environment, my mother used to buy those cookies when we were kids, and they were a treat, and they sucked.
And
But
they
they were
never
like-
lasted 4 months.
They didn't, but they were like a treat. So you can't just randomly, like, you can't find them. They have to be a random find somewhere because they just don't, they're not out there anymore. And I saw them. I'm like, oh my God, there's the iced oatmeal cookies. They're like $1 for the box or for the bag, whatever that you want to call that sleeve of like 20. They're not that good, but made me think about my childhood, whatever. So I bought them. I opened them, had 2 or 3, and I really did forget about them. And I don't know how long they've been in there. But for some reason, I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, what if those cookies are still in there? And I'm like, tomorrow when I get up with my coffee, I'm having one of those cookies. So I got up. She was already in the bath, and I go in to make coffee. I'm looking through the cupboard. I'm like, where are they? Like, I know I only had like 2 or 3. So when I asked her, I'm like, by chance, did you throw away? She goes, your cookies? Yes. I was like, what? Like, I would never throw away your stuff. And she, like, they were so stale. I was like, they're stale when you open them.
Okay, I'm so confident she's not going to watch this. What did you just say? I would never throw anything of yours away.
Hey, to the grave.
This isn't to the grave. We have things sworn to the grave.
No,
But you
no.
moving from house
La,
to
la,
house,
la,
having
la,
a
la,
box
la,
of
la.
stuff.
La, 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 la.
I don't know what's in
Okay,
here.
so I threw a box away that I had personally moved 12 times over 15 years. That she had not laid eyes on. It had been taped closed.
It was her grandparents' ashes
So I threw
that
it
you
away.
sent to the dump.
And then the day I threw it away, she was like, have you
Yeah.
seen the box? I think I called you. I'm like, she wants the box.
Does she know yet?
Yeah, I told her because she's like, "You threw it away, didn't you?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Yes, you did." I was like, "It was in there for years." That's why if you go to my garage right now, there's a whole wall of those boxes that I have moved from Ashland in 2002. So, yeah. So, I guess I went through something away. Anyway, I don't know how we got to that.
Yeah, busted.
I don't know how we got there, but that was unacceptable.
Yeah, if I did really figure out how to clip these down into clips, we just made one.
Yeah. I was clicked on it down and it said ban from the studio. And I'm like, yes. Please. Oh, that was hilarious. So all right. I don't know whose turn it is. I think
I
it's
don't know
yours.
if I got a turn left. We covered Elon Omar. I wanted to do clips of the Kristi Noem in front of the committee yesterday. That was an absolute joke. Nobody knows who Tim Pool is, yet millions of people know who he is, and
I think more than
I don't think as many as you think. Maybe more than I think, but I don't think as many as you think.
okay. But
I just don't think very many people. I wish we had thousands of viewers, and I'd say, who's heard of Tim Pool? Tim Cast. I don't think very many of them. And I listen to them 3 or 4 times a week.
I think if you're like somewhat involved, you know who he is.
Okay.
Deidre probably doesn't know who he is. So, I mean, I think so. You're probably right. But
he was the first person to tell me in 2015 Trump will win the election. She said Trump would win the nomination for the Republican Party when I was talking at work about there were 16 people on the stage and Trump was up there. I said, he's just running for jokes. She turned to me and she said, he's going to win the nomination. And I'm like, no. Sorry, Deidre. You were right. I've told you that before, though. You were 100% right. And look where we are now.
Yeah, shoot.
And that wasn't her support for him. It was.
She's not as political as myself. We have a lot of the same.
Yeah, I know that wasn't political or ideological. That was just that's Donald Trump, and if he says he's going to be president, he'll be president.
She also is grateful that he's the president.
Well,
so
I don't want to pigeonhole her for so many other people.
Well,
think it's the worst thing in the world.
Right, but you can pigeonhole me if you want to because you have Donald Trump or that dumbass Kamala Harris. So people can say whatever they want, be upset about it, whatever they want. Like, I really don't care. Like, we are drastically better off than we would have been. It's almost a year since then. Like, we would already be toast. We would have been in trouble. It would be so bad already. It would be tragic. I bet all the news would say is like, wow, look at the successes. And then it would just be a shit show. So thank God. And she's not done her words. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a way to debate you on the point of how much of a shithole would it become. But truthfully, can you imagine us a year after the inauguration of Kamala Harris? She doesn't shut the border. She continues to send money to Ukraine. She doesn't get these deals with these other countries. There's no tariff revenue coming in.
and all the money that's being stolen, like in Minnesota, would still be happening because they wouldn't have stopped it.
The DOJ wouldn't have looked into it or would have backed off or slapped a couple of people on the wrist. We can assume that. We don't know that, but we do know that the borders would remain open. People would still would not be being removed from the country. And see, that's it. That's another thing. You want to, the immigration thing, Bruce. All ICE wants to do is go in and get the people that they've got a demand for deportation. They've got the paperwork for it. But these states, when they know where they're at, they send them away. They don't hold them in lockup. They release them. They let them back out. So ICE can't go to the secured environment to pick up these people and deport them. They have to go find them where they are living, where they are staying. Where they are living and staying is generally with other people that are illegal. They're not going after those other illegal people, but that's like saying, you're drunk and disorderly and you're the one we're after, but your buddies here are all drunk and disorderly.
So
they got to get arrested too. You're smoking a joint, but you're also smoking it with these 4 other people. We came to get you on that DUI arrest that you've avoided. But since 5 of y'all are getting high together, you're all 5 coming in. That's all that is. And they're making such a big deal about it. I'm like, you had a chance at the beginning of the year to deport yourself. Well, they've been here for so long, they've got a family. Then I wouldn't hang out with other illegals then. Would you?
No. And do you know, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, JB Back Ribs released 1,700
JB Back Ribs.
JB
Pritzker.
Yeah, people that had been arrested by ICE were being held. He released them back into the public, 1,700 people, because he didn't believe it was done fairly. They didn't get due process because your ass is here illegally. Like, if I get on the interstate, I drive 2 miles up the road here, and I get on Interstate 75, which is our turnpike. The speed limit is 70 miles per hour. No one drives 70 on that interstate. No. I don't. I do 85, 90, what have you. If I get pulled over.
Shout out to Hicks, who's a triple digiter. Go ahead.
So if I get pulled over and get a ticket for speeding, I have to pay that. We also have a lot of tolls. So if I go to either 75 or 417, 192, whatever, they're all tolls. So I get on them, and it just takes a picture of your license tag. And I have a little placard that goes right below my mirror on the inside of my windshield, and it's an easy toll thing. And you go on and you put
toll
money
tag.
In, and it dings it, and it just bills you or takes it out of your bank. But when your money runs dry, they'll send you a letter and say, hey, put more money in your account. Or when it comes time to renew your tags,
you won't
be able to.
And penalties.
Yeah, you won't be able to. We'll suspend your license. That's a law. Pay the toll or lose your license. Speed, you get pulled over, pay the fine or lose your license. That's a simple, basic rule of law. So, as a citizen of the state of Florida, I'm like, all right, I know that. When I ran that red light 2 years ago, I had to pay a $300 fine or I couldn't drive anymore. That's a law. So could I have just started bitching about that and complaining about it and how unfair it was because I'm brown and you're not, or whatever, or how you were holding the brown man down and I could have gotten away from it? No. Pay it and shut the hell up and move along, or don't pay it and don't drive anymore. Because if you don't pay it and you keep driving,
For the record, he's not legitimately brown.
I am
He's
browner
very
than most
Caucasian.
people. But so how is it that you can come into
No
this?
claim to the minority status.
So how can you come into this country illegally and not expect something to happen? Because that's not like a speeding ticket.
Okay,
That's a
devil's
serious
advocate.
crime.
Devil's advocate. We let them in.
Correct. Just like
So did they come in
we let
illegally?
them
Doors were
into.
open and we processed them in.
Let me ask you this. We let them in. We basically opened the doors and said, come on in. By Tom Homan's estimation, and Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz this morning on the news, I heard, they believe that it's 20 plus million. Closer
Right.
to
I'm not
25.
talking. I'm talking about the ones that came through what was deemed legal process, but really wasn't. And they went through and they registered and they didn't provide papers. They didn't have any documentation who they were, but they came in, they got paperwork, and they were given a court date and processed in. That was all an illegal process. Those people are illegally in this country, but they didn't commit an illegal act in doing so because they came through what the current administration, out now passed, was laying out to them. So do those people get picked up and swept up and taken out, or do they go through due process? And then the others that we've got no paperwork on, you didn't get any paperwork coming into this country, you're not legal to be here, you're out, no questions asked.
I think that, and plus the ones in the prior comment, how many of those, like, is it 6? Is it 6,000? Is it 600,000? Whatever. If you mistaken it as somebody out of jail, they go find that person, or at least try to, and put them back into jail.
If you
So-
come here seeking asylum and you commit and break a law, I don't care if you came in legally or not. I don't care if you came in with papers or not. You broke your asylum, you're out.
If you don't assimilate to this country and you speak out against this country that took you in, that should void your agreement. You should be gone. Like, get the hell out. If you break the law and come into this country, there's 360 million American citizens, and we take in roughly 1 million new people per year legally. Okay, I'm okay with that. We took in 20 million people over 4 years. So that's 5 million people a year. They're in Orlando. They're closing 7 middle schools and lower. I don't know what they're called, junior high or whatever they're called, but they're closing
Primary.
7 schools because they're so flooded with all these illegals. The teachers now have to be multilingual, not bilingual, multilingual, to be able to teach these kids. So then all these citizens that go to that school are being ignored because all the resources are taken and given to these illegals. So then if you grew up here and you're going to school here, you're getting pushed to the side and not even getting an education because all the information and the money is going to these others. And so the vast amount of people have moved out of these areas because it's also been overtaken by these illegals. And people don't want to live there because if you go through any of these hoods, they're shitholes because they live like they lived in their country. They tear shit up and destroy shit. So then the government's like, I'm not giving any more money if I have 7% of legal citizens going to this school and the rest of it, all of this is from other countries. Like, we're not paying for that. So now the schools are shutting down because they're overrun. That's just a little thing.
So what do you do with the 7% of people who suddenly don't have a place to get educated that are legal citizens of this country? That's not fair.
That's not. But they're the ones who are going to private schools. They're getting the vouchers to pick and choose the schools they want to go to. So it's no longer you live in this block, you go to school A. You live over here, you go to school B.
Okay.
So now you can go to. It's almost like open
But
enrollment.
then you got to deal with
Okay.
transportation of getting the kids there and get them home. And
On Monday when I go to work, I will video my trip to school or to work because I have to go past like 4 different schools. And there's an elementary school that there's probably 150 cars lined up to drop their kids off. And
I don't know if a semi-white bearded male should be driving by schools filming them. I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm filming the vehicles. Semi-white. You said I wasn't brown, bro.
Semi-white. What's the color of the year?
I don't know.
You really don't?
No. I know what the word of the year is. And I don't understand it, but
What's the word of the year?
6-7.
Dude, it's like that's a either or kind of thing.
I've literally watched videos on it. I have Googled it. I have
like-
asked GTP. I'm like, what does this mean? Because some restaurants they took number 67 and 69 out of their rotation because whenever you'd be like, order 67, the place would erupt.
Dude, I've seen those videos. They're
They're
kind of
like,
funny.
what is happening? But nobody knows why. And some people say it's from a rap song, but
It might have started from a rap song. I'm not sure what it started from, but it is basically it's what's it matter? Either or 6-7. What's the difference?
I don't know what it is.
All right. Now this has let's finish up here. This has created quite the controversy.
Cloud Dancer.
Yeah, basically white.
So it's called Cloud Dancer instead of
Cloud.
white.
It's a shade of white.
Oh my God.
The color white Cloud Dancer, Pantone 11-4201 to be more exact, is a lofty white that serves as a symbol of calming influence in a society rediscovering the value of quiet reflection in an announcement Thursday.
That's so
they've been giving Pantone a lot of shit for making the color of the year a shade of white.
well. We should have made it Somali. Is that a word? Is that a color?
I don't know.
It's probably
be.
green. It's probably green. I do have one thing I want to discuss before we move on from here. So, Michigan. This is actually not a good story about it. This is to talk about some of the recruits that have left the University of Michigan since yesterday. So I'm going to take this down because it's bothering me just to look at it. But Sharon Moore was paid $6.1 million a year to be the coach of Michigan. I think he started there in 2017 as like fullbacks coach, and he was tight ends coach, and then quarterbacks coach, and then something. And when Harbaugh left to go to the Chargers, he was promoted into head coach, making $6.1 million a year. And apparently, day before yesterday, he was fired as head coach for having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. So,
And he's married.
and he's married since 2015 with 3 young daughters. And so then it came out that he has on Instagram and X, whatever. He's following all these OnlyFans models and all these young girls from school and all this stuff.
He was texting someone from OnlyFans at halftime during the last football game
Against Ohio State.
I wasn't going to bring up Ohio State, and
It's the final game of the year. It's your biggest game of the year. You could lose every game in the school year.
yeah, but they won.
Yeah. So then he leaves. He gets fired. He freaks out, goes to the girlfriend's house, goes in her house, takes out a knife and a pair of scissors, threatens to kill himself, tells her, "My blood will be on your hands. This is all because of you." And he threatened to call the police. So then she calls the police on him. He leaves. By this time, the wife knows about it. She's pissed off. Then he gets arrested for assault and threatening to kill someone or whatever. Still in jail. And now
Yep.
he's out of
Oh, he got out today.
Did he? I know
He
that.
had his court. I watched his court hearing, bail hearing. It was $25,000 with 10% down. I believe there's an ankle monitor. He's not allowed to talk to the woman, of course. I think his court date's in January or February.
Well, he's out of a job and out of $6 million a year. I just thought it was crazy how you work the whole life to get to a spot so you can ruin it. So, all right. Well, we're over our time limit again. So let's wrap it up. You any closing? I got to get my sunglasses out. So anyway, folks, we appreciate you listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Let us know what you want to talk about. We are going to come back before the end of the year to do one final show to wrap up the season. But thanks for watching. God bless you. God bless America. God bless our president. This is the real Bruce and Star Rookies. And we'll see you soon and see you often. Peace out.